celebration, a joyous milestone, this rededication of our treasured library, an unrivaled resource for our college institute, and a wellspring for students, researchers, rabbis, and teachers the world over. The Clow Library is emblematic of the great glory achieved throughout the generations of the revered College Institute, each of its branches spreading wide, a mission to strengthen, secure, and sustain Jewish life and experience. It is a mission that took root here in Cincinnati, Ohio, 135 years ago. Roots, deep, vital, and strong. For Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion, they are here in Cincinnati, Ohio. More than a century of seasons have passed since Rabbi Isaac Mayer Wise planted the seeds of a distinctively American rabbinical school here and welcomed its first students to the Mound Street Vestry, where the first classes of the newly founded Hebrew Union College were held. Now a mighty tree has grown, nourished and sustained by the bounty of its own fruit. From the roots of this campus, rabbis, scholars, and teachers have emerged to transform American life, create vital institutions, and revitalize American Jewry. To legions of Cincinnatians both within and beyond the Jewish community, Hebrew Union College is part of a shared identity, rooted in history. A sustained force that adds considerable luster to the region's rising global renown.
I think that history in and of itself is a powerful argument, but it's more than that when it comes to the Hebrew Union College. It's a history, it's a present, and it's a future. And because of the meaning of this institution in the city, both in the Jewish community and beyond, I think it helps us define the way in which history actually impacts the future. And with this institution, we have all three happening in one complementary dynamic: the meaning of the history, the purpose of its presence, and the potential of its future.
Well, this is the beginning where everything started and where HUC was established, and it was like a magic place for me to come and be where everything started. For me, it goes back to tradition, to go and be part of something that started long before me and to continue the chain. And I have all the resources here, the library, which I use a lot, and the archives. I sat here for many hours going through files and documents which are original, and that's very exciting for me. It's much more than just reading textbooks. It's actually touching materials that were created by the people who wrote them, and collect all this material and make something new out of it is exciting for me.
I never thought it accidental that the Clow Library and its collection, or the American Jewish Archives, were here in Cincinnati. You know, these deep repositories of the wisdom of the Jewish tradition, internationally and in America specifically, are remarkable intellectual treasures for the world.
Throughout the United States and throughout the world, this institution here attracts people from throughout the world to come use the Clow Library, to use the archives, to interact with the people who are here and know the history of Reform Judaism. It's not just a local institution or a regional institution. It has pulled far beyond that.
Well, from a layperson's perspective, when you say that a place like Cincinnati may have a half a dozen absolutely spectacular jewels that can't be matched anyplace else in the country, or perhaps anyplace else in the world, Hebrew Union College is one of them. It is a core contributor to the community's the quality of life, but beyond that, it's living history, and that's something you can't duplicate.
In Judaism, in the Reform movement, at the HUC, everything has to be connected to who I am as a Jewish person and as a rabbi. So I felt coming here was actually staying at home in a sense. I work with wonderful professors, and I think they're experts in their area, in their fields, and I'm privileged. It's a privilege for me to study with them.
The exposure that the students get here, the participation of the faculty and those who do the instructing sets off ripples that go far beyond this city. They go all across this country and abroad.
HUC provides an incredible presence, I think, that enhances the intellectual life of the area. HUC is a great partner, for example, with us in a whole variety of ways here at Xavier University. I know that that's likewise true over at the University of Cincinnati. They're part of a network that helps make this place what it is in terms of the intellectual environment that the universities themselves offer. Because HUC has a spirit at its heart, as Xavier University does, it gives it a particular place to stand and a place to speak from.
I believe that the Committee of Inquiry should most certainly visit Palestine. Written documents.
With their help and under God, we shall live.
There can be no history of a people unless it is written from the bottom up rather than the top down.
And so it isn't simply a kind of disinterested intellectual discourse that could be here or there or anywhere, but proceeds from a deep and profound tradition and therefore enlivens the intellectual culture of the entire region in a way that's absolutely irreplaceable. No one else can do here what HUC does.
For a tree to blossom at the top, it needs to be very strong at the bottom, at the roots. So if we want to continue and be very successful as a movement, if we want to give a message that we are connected to our past, to our tradition, then we need to keep the roots in. We need to make this tree steady and stable and strong.
This isn't nostalgia. This isn't just wanting to keep something because it was. This is something that is in the present such a treasure and such an active, dynamic force in the Jewish community and beyond.
The Jewish Foundation has supported this institution to give to them in return for all they have given to the community. Not just the Cincinnati community, but the broader community, and not just the Jewish community, but all aspects of the community of this city, this region, this country. They have done so much.
This campus that sits there on the west side of Clifton Avenue, that anyone who knows anything about it knows the life that is in there now, all the life that has flowed through there, and God willing, all the life that will continue to come forward to serve the Jewish community and beyond.